This guitar needs a lot of work. From 1960s Japan, this guitar was made in a furniture factory, features Teisco hardware, Maxon Pickups, and a name brand you've never heard of. Stick around while I set the whole thing up, do a little deep dive on what's inside, and get this thing ready to play. So the name on this headstock says Cameo, and if you spent any time digging around vintage gear forums trying to look up this obscure badge, you've probably run into a very specific, highly repeated story. If you Google it right now, multiple vintage guitar sites will tell you with absolute certainty that these guitars are linked to the Cameo drum company, which operated in Oakland, Illinois during the 1960s. They made drums and drum accessories before ultimately being bought out by Custom in 1971. It sounds like an amazing piece of music history, but here's the problem. It is 100% untrue. The real company from Oakland, Illinois was Camco Drums, that's with a C, not an E. Somewhere down the line, an early gear blogger made this mix-up. Then, other websites blindly copied and pasted the error without a second thought, thus creating a completely fabricated myth about Cameo. Here's the real history behind Cameo. If you look closely at the guitar, you're going to see exactly what I meant by being built in a furniture factory. Notice these distinct vertical lines running the entire length of the neck. This is a multi-laminate, butcher block style construction. The factory glued dozens of strips of Asian mahogany together to form this neck. It was a brilliant, heavy-duty cabinet making technique. Altering the grain directions meant that this budget neck was practically immune to warping and twisting over time. The neck architecture combined with the body contours and hardware choices tell us exactly where this guitar was made. The legendary Sakai Mokko factory in Japan. Sakai started out making fine wood cabinetry before pivoting to guitars during the 1960s boom. They pumped out instruments for department store mail order catalogs, and this Cameo is a beautiful example of Sakai craftsmanship. If you take a look at the bridge here, you'll note that it has no room for adjustment. There are no fine-tuning screws, no movable saddles. Back in the 60s, the factory simply picked the best spot for intonation, anchored it down, and went with it. Now look right here next to the nut. This is a 0 fret. Instead of relying on the plastic nut slots to set the string height, the strings rest directly on this piece of fret wire. This design is truly genius and should be on many more modern guitars. With the 0 fret, your open strings have the exact same metallic chime and tone as your fretted notes, and it keeps the first fret action incredibly low. Check out this finish. This isn't the spider web weather checking that you see on old Nitro Gibsons. Sakai used a thick, incredibly rigid poly finish. Over the years, the wood body expanded and contracted with humidity and temperature changes. It's honest, gorgeous garage rock patina. These white slider switches look like something off of a 1960s kitchen appliance, and they act as independent on-off toggles for each pickup, meaning if you flip them both down, you get a kill switch. Flip them to the on position, and you get to hear a truly special pickup. These are Sakai chrome strip single coils. They typically read in the 5K resistance range, giving you a widely articulate, clear, and clean tone. For this guitar specifically, the neck pickup reads at 4.57, and the bridge pickup is reading at 4.72. If you want to hear this Sakai treasure scream through an overdriven tube amp, stick around. We're setting it up so we can do just that. If you're new to the channel, this is what we do at Ipsy Guitars. We don't just repair instruments, we tell their stories. This fretboard is incredibly thirsty. Decades of gunk are coming off the fret wire. We're going to level and polish these to the original mirror finish. Then we're going to give this wood the hydration it's begging for. And here is the star of the guitar. Inside these Sakai chrome strip pickups, there's no wax potting. It is a completely dry coil sitting on a thick rubberized bar magnet. This loose wound, unpotted architecture makes this pickup highly microphonic, susceptible to feedback, but gives it an oh so sweet vocal quality. Flipping the harness over, we find the factory original electronics laid out. These 500K mini pots allow the top end definition of these low output single coils to cut straight through. Connected to the pot is this dark green chiclet component. That is a vintage greeny mylar film capacitor. These caps are legendary among gear nerds because they almost never leak, almost never dry out, and they keep that tone sweep incredibly smooth. With everything back together, let's move to the setup. We're going to throw on a set of Ernie Ball 11 strings. These guitars are notorious for bad neck angles and frozen truss rods. The angle looks good on this one, but I do want to get rid of some of this relief. Let's see if we can get this truss rod to budge. Luckily for us, it does. So I go ahead and tighten it up. Adjusting the string action down a bit now that the relief is right. We are looking at 4.5 64ths on the bass side and 4 64ths on the treble side. With the history and setup out of the way, let's see what this Sakai Furniture Factory Special can actually do. First, the clean tone. Now, let's grab a brass slide and turn on some fuzz. You can obviously make your own tone conclusions, but for a budget department store guitar built in a furniture factory in 1960s Japan, this sound will do just fine for me. It's got the sort of soul that you just don't find in modern guitars. This guitar is actually looking for its next tone, so if you're interested, check out the reverb listing linked in the first comment of this video.